Shana Tova, Happy New Year. It is happening, as we said at the beginning. We are here. We made it. We survived. It feels like a Shehechianu moment. We thank God for sustaining us and bringing us to this day, Rosh Hashanah, the birthday of the world, and also us. It's important that we feel good, that we take stock, and we appreciate all that we have been given. So much has gone on, we blink our eyes and another year has passed. One by one, the days, the weeks, the months, they just whiz by. On one hand, we want this pandemic period to pass as quickly as possible, right? We want to just get to the other side, and just when we thought that we had, wham, a new variant attacks us. It's not enough we have the Delta, now we have the Mu. Oh my gosh, and there are more. On the other hand, how do we hang on and continue to survive when the world and life keeps spinning by and there is so much loss? Moments go by that we will never get back. Graduations, birthdays, weddings, missed, rescheduled, reworked one way or another, and yet we survive. Here we are, ready to fight another day, another year, hoping, praying, and reaching for a chance and a reason to celebrate. No matter what happens in life, we are a resilient people. It is built into us. And yet, amidst it all, how do we manage to hang on and feel good? The Torah says, guard yourself and guard your soul very carefully. In order to do that, it is important to feel good. If you don't feel good, everything is misery. There is no hope of getting yourself out of the abyss. Feeling good is more than your general overall health. It is also a state of mind, a way of life, a state of being. How do we feel good when all about us is chaos and disarray? Do we even dare? How do we even attempt to guard ourselves and our souls when our health seems to be threatened at every turn? People don't know which way to turn, what to do, what not to do, because the rules are constantly changing. We are seemingly never, ever going to get out of this. We are in this never-ending state of flux. Do we wear masks? Do we not wear masks? Do we take temperatures? What do? We got people upset. We're checking vaccination cards. Or you get a COVID test. But oops, oh my gosh, how do you get a COVID test when it's Rosh Hashanah and it happens to be on Labor Day? It's a lot of craziness. Well, let me tell you that if we don't strive to feel good every day, all will certainly be lost. And when it's most dark, that's when we have to go deep inside ourselves and pull it out and try to make ourselves feel better. The key to guarding ourselves and our souls is to figure out what works for us, push through our fear, move forward with a certain amount of faith, being as proactive as we can, and taking care of ourselves and others. Amidst it all, we must work vigilantly to make a supreme effort to feel good and to figure out what it will take to do that when everything around us is chaos. We are living in a time when surrendering control and going with the flow is the ticket through the madness. And guarding everything we hold close depends on our ability to keep it together and forge ahead while maintaining our ability to feel good. Attitude is everything. Your perspective and your perception of life and what challenges you affects the outcome of your overall experience and ultimate destiny. It's actually most important to reach inside to feel good, as I said, when things feel so dark, so helpless, so insurmountable. Sort of like fake it till you make it. But we don't want to fake it. We want to truly feel good, that sense of personal well-being, no matter what life throws at us. So how do we ensure this overall sense of wellness of body, mind, and spirit is going to happen? By nurturing and taking care of ourselves. And we started this discussion last night. When so many things are pulling at us, it's sometimes hard to think about taking care of ourselves, or that by doing so it may actually almost be selfish. Well, I'm here today to tell you that there is no other way to survive what life throws at you, to overcome what we are all going through as one global humanity, than reaching to feel good, to take care of yourself first, so that you then can take care of others. Everyone loves a birthday, right? Sometimes celebrating for weeks. How many of you celebrate just one day? How many of you celebrate like several days, a weekend? How many of you celebrate a week? How many celebrate a month? How many just celebrate all year that you're just glad to be alive? My granddaughter Ella, she runs around with her big number 2. She's got a big piñata number 2, and then she got a second one, so she has 2 number 2s. And so she runs around all over the house for weeks saying, "Happy birthday! Happy birthday!" carrying her balloons and her big number 2. Well, that's what we are doing here today and over these upcoming days. We are reaching for rebirth and something to celebrate. Yes, there are poignant, awe-driven moments, reflection upon what's good and bad in ourselves, our relationships, and our lives. However, the underlying principle we must strive for is devotion to body and soul, a mind-heart-spirit connection that can only be attained fully through guarding oneself and soul, as the Torah stated, and by exhibiting self-care. In an article on Judaism and wellness in the Jewish Food Hero, it states, while the Jewish tradition has high expectations of self-refinement and taking actions that benefit society and the world, it also gives us guidance on how we must care for ourselves. We can define self-care as any regular and repeated action that a person takes to preserve or improve the health of their body, their mind, and their spirit. Self-care actions are available to everyone, and they're actually free. Self-care actions can be making sure that you go to sleep at a certain hour to ensure that you get a specific number of hours each night. How many do that? Saying no to things and people that bring out the worst in yourself and drain or sap or derail your strength or your positive energy. Anybody know any of those people? Saying yes to things and people that bring out the best in you, that enliven you, soothe you, refresh or invigorate your strength and energy. Well, we all do that right here. Daily meditation or prayer, we do that. Daily, weekly movement and exercise for your body. Creativity, we've got a lot of that going on here right now, and crafting. And eating foods that make you feel well. How many are vigilant about that? Maimonides states a man should aim to maintain physical health and vigor, in order that his soul may be upright in a condition to know God, for it is impossible for one to understand sciences and meditate upon them when one is hungry or sick, or when any of one's limbs are aching, because his purpose in all that he does will be to satisfy his needs so as to have a sound body with which to serve God. So yes, be a little selfish and take care of yourself. Just like on an airplane, you put the oxygen mask on first before you do it for your child. We need to take care of ourselves first and foremost so that we can fully give to others. During COVID, many have gained weight. Many have lost weight. I myself did both. Did any of you do any of that? It wasn't until I saw the negative direction that I was moving in that I realized, oh, no, I'm not going to do that again. I have to take care of myself, to pace myself in order to care for everyone else. And sometimes it actually feels a little selfish, but doing so enables you to be more selfless. In order to give, love, and handle whatever comes our way, we need to be at our optimum best, or at least striving to be, have the consciousness. When we are in a better state of being mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, we can then more easily address situations or occurrences thrown at us because we are operating on more cylinders. We may not be able to take care of everything, but we will be more equipped to handle what life throws at us because we are in a more stable state of being. When we love ourselves, we can more fully love others. When we love ourselves, we can truly open up and love God. Because God is inside of us, made each and every one of us special and different from the other. And when we can love ourselves, even our imperfections, it's easier to love another in spite of theirs. And then we will truly have something to celebrate. In a short while, we will hear our soloists and musicians do a song for us by Polo and Pan, and it's called Feel Good. Every day and every night, we're loving come what may, nothing else to say. Cares fade away. Our cares can only fade away when we love completely every night and every day. And sometimes that is a tall order. It's hard to love and see the good in another when they are hurting you. It's hard to see the good in anything when we are hurting ourselves. Feeling good begins with love. As the Torah states in many religions as well, love your neighbor as yourself, do unto others as you would have done unto you. How many of you know people who violate this golden rule? On this day, this holy day, we ask that God write us in the book for a sweet and abundantly good life. The only way to get there is by looking within and around and everyone we have maybe hurt, make our amends, ask, and grant forgiveness. In order to really do this, though, the first thing we have to do is forgive ourselves. So many of us have a running commentary about all the things that are wrong with us, and then the wrongs that there are in others, because that's the negative take, that's the cycle that we are caught up in. If we can learn to love more of ourselves, to nurture and give to ourselves, it will be more easy to feel good and truly own it and see the good in others, even when it's buried deep within. Our outlook on life will shift. We will be coming from a place of holiness, able to share the divine light that resides within us and see that light in others, when sometimes it's blocked. The Jewish food hero goes on to state, the Jewish tradition recognizes that a person cannot wholly do their work in the world unless they take care of themselves. Quoting Estelle Frankel as saying, one of the simple meditations, healing meditations I teach people is to see themselves through God's eyes. That is what we're doing here today. We recognize that the scales of judgment are upon us. All of our thoughts, our actions, and our deeds, they're on display. We pray with all of our might that God, Avinu Malkeinu, our Father and King, will have compassion and move from judgment to mercy, looking at us for all of our good intent, so that we may be written for abundance and sealed. Abundant health, abundant love, abundant money, material wealth. Why? For the purpose of sharing. Kabbalistically, we should never ask for anything for ourselves alone. It is always for the purpose of sharing. So we should nurture ourselves, love ourselves, give to ourselves, so that the abundance that we receive brings us closer to serving God and others. That is what the world needs in order to be re-energized and reborn and truly celebrate a rebirth, a birthday. We have been given so much, and we need to celebrate that. But at the same time, we are also giving so much of ourselves away. Does anyone ever feel that way? So much that sometimes there's actually nothing left to give. We feel like we're empty, or where are we going to get it from? We find ourselves drowning in a sea of despair, hopelessly adrift. It's like when a caregiver takes care of a loved one so completely and tirelessly that they themselves get sick, sometimes even passing. And I see this a lot. While the one being cared for goes on to thrive another day. As we contemplate judgment, life and death, and divine mercy, let us show some compassion for ourselves. How can we ask God to be compassionate with us when we aren't even compassionate with ourselves or each other? This is at the core of everything we do today, everything we do through these Yamim Noraim. When we recite the Yeshamnu prayer and we pound our chest to beat that alphabet of woe and sin out of us, we must replace it, all of them, with love. An outpouring of love for ourselves, an outpouring of love for others, even those who have wronged us, and ultimately, an outpouring of love for God. Love is the key that unlocks the door, every door. So as the song Feel Good states, every night and every day we're loving, come what may. Nothing else to say. Cares fade away. On this first day of the new year, let us pray for the strength to love ourselves and others, come what may. Let us have the courage to say no to things and people that bring out the worst in us, or drain or sap or derail our strength or our positive energy, as well as the courage to say yes to things and people that bring out the best in us, who enliven, soothe, refresh, or invigorate our strength and our energy. We are already so ahead of the game because we are here with one another on this sacred day. As a member of this community of Emet, we know that truth in all of our dealings and areas of life matter. That when we are in alignment with our truth, we are in alignment with God. So on this Rosh Hashanah day, we pray that God sees us in all our glory, our good, our bad, and otherwise. Sees that we are here, that we are taking stock, that we are taking care, we are showing up. That God sees our intentions are pure and our hearts and our souls are laid bare. Sees that we want to be good, we want to do good, we want to feel good for the purpose of sharing. May our prayers be heard on high, most especially at Tashlik after this when we just cast those sins aside. May God heed our call, may God see us, may God answer, and may we all be so inscribed. Shana Tova Chag Sameach. And now, our musicians and our soloists will sing Feel Good by Polo and Pan. So shake it up, guys. Get yourself ready to feel good. Everyone take a look at the soloist. Camera, over to the soloist. We're reformed. We have a camera.
Love at first sight, moment of grace just feels so right.
People you love, worth every fight. Wanna rejoice, beauty of life. Embrace the game, natural smile. Breathing in deep, pumped in with style. Sometimes you just wanna
Feel good.
You know I like to.
Feel good, feel good.
Oh, why don't we?
Feel good, feel good.
If I time you,
Feel good, feel good.
don't you wanna?
Feel good.
It's so good to. We could really. I love it when you get it.
Come on, guys, feel good. It's Rosh Hashanah. It's not Yom Kippur.
One for the plan, two for the team, three for the gift, love supreme. Stay on the point, God's self-esteem. Doing my thing, feeling pristine. Under the stars, young evergreen. Long summer nights, living the dream. Keeping it fresh, avoiding routine. Sometimes you just wanna.
Feel good.
You know I like to.